Hi everyone, it's Debbie with Book and BuJo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. Today it's time for my August TBRopoly. Let's play. I definitely finished my July TBR like really early, so that was nice and a little unexpected, and got to read, just kind of mood read a few books for some of the year-long readathons I'm doing, like the 52 book club and our fantasy bingo and the horror bingo book club. I think I only have 3 books left for that one, so that's nice, and that'll be done. Before we get into all of the rolls, let's go ahead and see how I did for June. Now, my first roll was an even card, and that was to read a retelling. And for that, I read Cress by Marissa Meyer, the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles. And I did read that. The next prompt was an odd card, and that was to read an indie book. And for that, I read A Healer's Gift by Tao Wong, and it's the 1st book in the Adventures on Brad series, and I did read that, and it was so cute. I loved it. My next prompt was a challenge card, and that was to do a watercolor project. And here it is. I did a little paint with me project, and I will leave her channel linked down below because it is Vanessa Paints. I've done a lot of her little projects and I love them, and I just did this in my bullet journal because I had an extra page at the back, but I do need to get out my watercolor paper. I do have the watercolor paper and actually use that, but I went with this one. But it was a lot of fun, and there's a little bit of like sparkle and glitter in there as well, but it was a lot of fun. Roll number 4 was a NetGalley prompt, and for that I read Orishas Among Mortals, and that's by Antoine Bandelli, and I did read that. It was good. Roll number 5 was a series card, and that was to read the Zoe Myers series, and the last book I happened to own was Broken Beast, the 3rd book in the series by Sarah C. Rothel, and I did finish that. My next roll was an odd card, and that was to do a dice roll roulette, and then I rolled a 2, so I had to read a book between 200 and 299 pages, and for that I read Jawbone by Monica Ojeda. Next roll was another odd card, and that was a TBR jar pick, and for that I ended up pulling Common Sense, and that is by Thomas Paine, and I did read that. Lastly, I landed on BookTuber, and for that I read A Stone of Farewell, the 2nd book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series by Tad Williams, and I did finish that. Which means I completed my TBR, and so I get a reward. So let's go ahead and see what reward I end up pulling. I did complete my TBR for July, which means I get a reward. I have my reward from last month, which I ended up not using, which is pick a reward from someone else's game. The reward I chose was from Post-its and Pens, and hers was a re-roll. So if I get a roll that I don't like, I can re-roll. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one back at the bottom because I ended up not using it, so it goes back in the pile, which means I pull from the top, and that is you can do 1 re-roll or re-pick 1 prompt. So it's kind of funny. It's almost exactly the same. All right, we'll see if I use it or not. My reward was I can do 1 re-roll or re-pick 1 prompt. 1 re-roll or re-pick 1 prompt, yeah. Most of the time I forget that it's sitting there and I don't use it. Maybe this will be the month. Now let's find out how many rolls I will be doing for August. I ended the game in July here on BookTuber, so that's where I will start for August. And I'm going to roll my 12-sided die this time because I actually completed my TBR even before the last week of July. So I had almost 2 full weeks where I had already completed my TBR. So let's go ahead and go with the 12. So far I don't know of any readathons in August that I'm taking part in, only because I haven't seen anything come out yet. I know there are quite a few that typically happen in August. Here's my 2024 reading journal, And for August, what did we have? That's July. So for August, we did have, let's see. So here's some of the readathons. We had Questathon, and that was put together by Keymark, so that one might happen. We had Battleathon with Mel from Melanor Read, so that may happen as well. And we also had Draconathon, but we just recently had Draconathon in May? Not too long ago, so that one may or may not happen. So there are a couple I may end up participating in, but nothing that's on my radar for now. And of course, the Magical Readathon is in September, so I have one more month before we get to that one. All right, let's go ahead and take my 12-sided die and let's roll to see how many rolls I will be doing for August. 12. Get a 12-sided die, you're gonna get a 12, right? I was kind of hoping for a couple extra rolls than I had last month, and well, there we go. So I got a 12. So let's go ahead and just jump right into roll number 1. All right, I ended on Booktuber Rec at the end of the game for July, so we're gonna go ahead and start there for August. Roll number 1. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Odd space, odd card. Book features games and or trials. The Savior's Sister would be a great one for that. I wonder if I can get my hands on it. Starting out good. Roll number 1. Start with an odd card, and that is to read a book featuring games or trials. I wasn't sure what book I was going to pick for this. I never really know if there's games and trials in the books or not because I don't tend to read synopsis, so I don't know. I was going through my Kindle book list of all the ones that I own, and I found The Game by Jack London. There we go, it's right in the title. Perfect. And it's super short at 37 pages. I'll take it. All right, roll 2 of 12. 3. 1, 2, 3. A classic. That's always a good spot. For roll number 2 of 12, I landed on classic, and there is a Jane Austen book I am still hoping to read that I haven't gotten to yet, and that is Sandition. So that is what I'm planning to read for classic. All right, roll 3 of 12. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Special editions. Let's get my special edition little Kickstarter jar here. And we'll go with this one. Oh, I think, you know, I haven't read this one yet. Let's see. Can I get it to open? Well, maybe. Republic of Thieves, and that is by Scott Lynch. For prompt number 3, I landed on special edition, and so then I drew The Republic of Thieves, and that is by Scott Lynch, the 3rd book in the Gentleman Bastard series. And this is my special edition copy. Very pretty. And let's take a look at the, make sure I cover it in here. Nice and shiny. And that will get me all caught up with this series because I think this is the last one that's been published. I'm not sure where he is on writing any of the others of the series because I think there's supposed to be 4 or 5, but as far as I know, this is the last one that's actually out. So that's what I'll be reading. All right, roll number 4 of 12. 9. I'm getting some high numbers here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Amazon borrows. Let's go ahead and get out the 10-sided die. And let's see what book I'll be reading. number 10. So my most recent borrow. All right, so my most recent, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that is The Invisible College by Jeff Wheeler. For prompt number 4, I landed on Amazon Borrows, and that's for the Prime Reading Library. You get to borrow 10 books at a time. And I rolled my 10-sided die, and I got number 10. That means it's the book I most recently just borrowed from them, and that is The Invisible College by Jeff Wheeler. Don't know much about this, but I like the cover and it sounds interesting, so we'll give it a try. Roll number 5 of 12. 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. A series. Well, I already have one series here. Let's put in another. Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn by Tad Williams. That's a good one. Roll number 5 gave me series, and that is to continue the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series, which is amazing because I need to read that for the Three Swords Along book club anyway with Erin from Booked and Busy. But that also means, because it's a trilogy, so there's one book left, but it's this long. Yeah, it's so long that they split it into 2 books. Yeah, it's over 1,000 pages. And now I'm beginning to get a little concerned. Like, I'm glad my first book was 37 pages. But now just the 3 physical books I have, it's already this tall. It's a lot of pages. Getting a little concerned. Luckily, the 3rd book, To Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams, 3rd book of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. This series is really easy reading. I feel like it's easy to quickly read through it. Not that it's super fast-paced. There are quite a few slow-paced sections of the book, but it's more like a middle grade or a YA where you can sit and like read for a little bit, and you're not necessarily, it's not like Malazan where you're like, what is going on? And you've spent an hour and you've gone through 10 pages because you're just like, what is happening here? And I need to take it all in. And it's more like you can sit and listen and enjoy and just read and have fun. And yeah, so it's at least a little easier to read. Although Republic of Thieves, that one takes a little more brain power. Roll number 6 of 12. Uh-oh. Okay. That one rolled on the floor. Let's try it again. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Challenge card. Take a class. So that could be watercolor, crochet, could be learning something, productivity, some type of class where I will learn something. Roll number 6. Luckily, I landed on a challenge card. Now, this isn't always a good prompt to land on, but this one was to take a class. For this one, I know exactly what class I'm going to take, and I can't remember the channel name, but I will leave it in the description box below. They teach you the basics of crocheting, and they have like a crocheting 101 kind of class, which is really cool. And there's also videos on how to do this particular crochet with this crochet kit, and it's the cutest little dragon. I am very excited to do this one, and this particular kit, it's for beginners, so you got DIY handcrafts. There's like instructions and pictures here as well, and then they give you everything you need here in this kit. And then my mom actually gave me her crochet kit from when she was crocheting blankets and things like that, so I've got this huge tote bag filled with tons of different crochet needles and all this stuff. I didn't realize she crocheted like that much. I knew she had done a blanket at one point. She kind of taught me how the basics of crocheting, but I always just remember her cross stitching. So that was kind of fun. So I have more than everything I need to get started with crocheting. So that'll be fun. Roll 7 of 12. No doubles yet, but we've been getting some good prompts, so I'll take it. No, of course, I had to say something. That is an 8, and it is a double, so we will now be doing 13 rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that is an even card. Read a fantasy. Perfect. Roll number 7. We got our first double. Not too bad because doubles have been a little more scarce this year. I've been surprised and, you know, happily surprised. So now we have 13 rolls, which is fine. 13 is an amazing number. I love it. Roll 7. I ended up with an even card, and that was to read a fantasy. Well, that's easy. And I decided to go with A Time of Dread by Gwynne, the first book in the Of Blood and Bone series, and that is the Ketchup Book Club pick for August. So I figured I might as well get a jump start on it. But then again, that's another 500-page book on my TBR. We'll see what happens with 13 rolls. But at least one of them wasn't a book. So 12 books, 1 class. All right, now roll 8 of 13. Re-roll that one. And that's funny. That's exactly the same thing I got when it fell on the counter. So that's a 3. 1, 2, 3. A NetGalley book. I've been getting that one a lot lately. I'm kind of tempted to do a re-roll. Not that I don't want to read NetGalley books, but I've got other books I want to put on my TBR too. So I think I'm going to use my re-roll or re-pick of 1 prompt for this. Now the question is, do I just roll from here or do I go back? I think I'm going to go back to where I was. So 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go ahead and re-roll that. I may regret this, but I'm going to do it. That's a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another series card. The Atlas series. Ooh, I have 1 book left. We'll see if I can find it. Because I don't own it, and I don't think my library has it. But I will try. Roll number 8. I landed on NetGalley. And I decided, you know, I've had NetGalley every month, which is great. I mean, I've read some really good books. But I want something different. I want to get some of my other squares. Like, where's my 25 and 2025 and some of the other squares, BookTube Rack, and, you know, some of those. I want to land on something different. So you saw that I used my reward to do a re-roll, and then I decided what I would do is go back to where I started. So pretend that roll didn't happen. And then I rolled again, and I ended up on series again, which is great. I am very happy for that because I need to continue a series. And for that, I got the Atlas series. Now, of course, I have books 1 and 2, like I own them in the Atlas series. They are right here. So the Atlas 6 and the Atlas Paradox, but I do not own the Atlas Complex, which is the 3rd book. But I looked and my library does have it. So I will be able to get the audiobook for that one. So The Atlas Complex by Olive E. Blake. Again, another somewhat longer book, but that's all right. That's all right. We'll get it figured out. And oddly enough, A Time of Dread and The Atlas Complex are both 480 pages exactly. Interesting. just thought that was interesting. Okay, moving on. Roll number 9. All right, roll 9 of 13. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's an odd card. A Goodreads Choice winner. It's kind of funny because I'm reading one right now that has a Goodreads Choice winner. Roll number 9, I got an odd card. See, it's something about the even cards I'm thinking. Even cards and the doubles. Odd cards and you don't get them. I don't know. Interesting. I mean, we got one, but... So, odd card. And that was to read a Goodreads Choice winner. So I did go and looked up Goodreads Choice winners, and there was 100 books on the list. I have actually read 14 of them. I was surprised, actually a little impressed. I didn't think I would have read that many of them, but most of the ones I have and I'm interested in, I've read. Or they're really long. Like, I do want to read them, but I need some lower page count books on my TBR to counteract some of the big tomes that I have. And I decided to go with Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. And of course, I say something smaller, but that one's 560 pages. But the other one I was looking at was 11/22/63. Is that what it is, by Stephen King? And that one was over 600. So this one was the shorter of the options. All right, roll 10 of 13. That's a 5. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another odd card. a dragon or fire on the cover. I always love that prompt. Roll number 10 of 13, odd card, and that was to read a book with a dragon or fire on the cover. And for that, I am going to read Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. And of course, the word fire plus there's a fire on there. And I've been wanting to read this for quite a while, and I finally got it in for my library, so I'm very excited. This one I was like, I'm gonna have to read it physically because that's what it is from the library. And this one is under 500. It's only 426 pages, so that's good. But I was looking and I did see the author is on YouTube and he reads the book on his channel and has all the videos available for whoever wants to listen to them for free. So I think I'm gonna do a little immersive reading experience and read it physically while I'm listening to the author read it to me. So I thought that would be amazing because that worked out really, really well when I read The Dragonbone Chair by Tad Williams, the first book in the Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series. That was so much fun, and I like hearing when they interject things about why they chose a character, or why they chose like certain descriptions, or how a plotline came about and things like that. It's always kind of fun to hear some of that kind of stuff while you're reading. So Between Two Fires, Christopher Buehlman. All right, roll 11 of 13. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And that is an even card. Whoop, I got 2. And that is to read an adult book. So instead of middle grade or YA, you get an adult. Next roll was an even, and that was to read an adult book. And for that, I'm going to go with the BuJo Buddies Book Club pick and read The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with 2 mystery thrillers on my TBR, or how I'm going to do with them. Not what I'm going to do, I'm going to read them, of course. How I'm going to do with having 2 mystery thrillers. Not my favorite genre. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully they aren't too thrillery. Although The Only One Left sounds a little bit more slashery. Maybe I'll be okay. We'll see. All right, a roll 12 of 13. We have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and that's an odd card. Randomize your TBR. Roll 12 of 13 is an odd card, and that is to randomize your TBR. So I put some books on my TBR that I would like to read, like some book club books and some year-long readathon books and things like that, that I haven't gotten to yet, haven't gotten onto my TBR yet, and I do want to get to them. So I put those on a spinner wheel, and then I am going to spin the wheel and let's see what I get. I really want to get Brat and 80 Story. That's the one I really, really want to read. I definitely want to reread Bunny. And then some of these other ones I need to read for year-long readathons, like the 52 Book Club and the Horror Bingo Readathon and our Fantasy Bingo Readathon. So let's go ahead and see what I get. The Red Sphinx, of course. The almost 900-page book. It's fine. And if you don't know, The Red Sphinx is the sequel to The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas, and I do want to read it, but it's over 800 pages. So hopefully I can find an audiobook to help me out. For the Hardcore Literature Book Club, we are with Benjamin McAvoy. We are supposed to be reading The Three Musketeers by Alexander Dumas. Well, I've already read that, but it's a series, so I thought, well, maybe instead I'll read the second book in the series, and if I get to it, I get to it. If not, then I won't. So yeah, it was written on my list, so I didn't even think about it, and I put it in the spinner wheel, and that's what I got, which is great because I loved The Three Musketeers, and I've actually heard that this one is better than that, so I'm excited for that. But it is 832 pages. Yeah. All right, let's see what we're gonna get for roll 13 of 13. Rethinking my choices here. And then last we have roll 13 of 13, and that's a 3. 1, 2, 3. So we ended up back on NetGalley anyway. That's funny. Okay, roll 13. Oddly enough, we landed back on NetGalley. So We're still gonna do NetGalley, which is great. It's nice. I need to build up my presence on NetGalley anyway. So here we go. I ended up picking, if it's gonna still be there, I need to just check it out now so I don't have to worry about it going away by the time August 1st hits. But that's Tucked Away by Mel Parrish. And that one is under 300 pages, 298. So that definitely helps with lowering my page count a little bit. So in grand total, I have, with just my TBRopoly books, 5,179 pages to read in August. And out of the current books I have, between the ones I own and I have from my library, this is just 4 of them, plus my Kindle. And then we have, if you think of about this much of this book for The Red Sphinx, the second book in the Three Musketeers series. Yeah, so that's on here too. Yeah, that's already getting heavy. Okay, but you know that's not all I'm reading, so let's go ahead and move on into book clubs. Okay, BuJo Buddies Book Club. We'll start with that, with Just from Joshie Kern, and for that we're reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which I did get onto my TBR, so that doesn't add any more page count. For the Ketchup Book Club, I also got this on my TBR, and that is A Time of Dread by John Gwynne, the first book in the Of Blood and Bone series. Then we move into The Game of Tomes, which is The Silmarillion by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I've already read that. And to the next one, and that is The Globe Book Club. I only joined that book club for this 1 month for this one book. I think they're actually reading it over 3 months, so June, July, and August, and I will just pick it up for August, and that is Between Two Fires by Christopher Gilman. I most likely won't continue with that particular book club. It just depends on what their next book pick is, but for now I'm joining it to jump into the discussion on this one. And then we have the Hardcore Literature Book Club, which is reading The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas, and I will be reading the second book in the series, which is Red Sphinx. The Thomas Howell Book Club, don't know yet, haven't heard, so it'll be another week probably before we hear about that one, but I will let you know. The Well-Read Book Club with Carolyn Marie Reads, the poll just went up, so there's 4 books that we're choosing from, and right now it's kind of neck and neck between A Pale View of Hills and The Summer Book. So that's another one I will need to add on to the page count for this TBR. But I believe they're both under 350 pages. I could be wrong, but I think they're both shorter books. So that's good. And hopefully I think there was only 2 of the 4 that my library had or that I could get a hold of. So I'm hoping it's one of these 2. If not, then I probably won't read it and then I won't have to add any more pages. So that's good. For Words and Influence, and this is with Kara's Bookshelf, and we are reading The 10 Incarnations of Rebellion, and that's by Vaishnavi Patel, and that's only 320 pages, so not too bad. I don't really know much about this one, but I am intrigued. And then lastly for the book clubs is the World of Words Book Club, and we are reading. Now for read-alongs. We have, of course, The Three Swords Along with Erin from Booked and Busy, and we are reading Tad Williams' Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn series, and we've been doing 1 book a month, but of course, instead of splitting this one up like the Broken Binding edition did, we're reading them both this month, and so then that's To Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams. Now, of course, they didn't really need to be this long because the font is like super huge. So probably could have cut out 100 or 200 pages total between them. But let's see if it says in the back here. So this one's 816 pages, but that's with the glossary. Let's see the actual story. So, or the appendix. So the actual story is 797 for the second half of the book. And the first half also has the appendix. And that one's 775. So 1,400 pages. It's fun. Because look how pretty. They are so pretty. Yeah. That's what we're reading for The Three Swords Along. And then I also am reading with Sandra from Got a Thing for Things, the Vampire Academy read-along. And for August, we are reading Shadow Kiss by Rochelle Mead, and that's the 3rd book in the series. And that one's over 400 pages too. And then for Readathons. Readathon, of course, for the title prompt. The word with. Do you think any of the books on my TBRopoly, book clubs, readalongs, do you think any of those have the word with in them? Of course not. Not even in the series name. Subtitles, none of that stuff. Nothing. So I went to my Kindle list and I looked at all the books that I own on Kindle and tried to find the shortest ones possible. And clocking in at a whopping 115 pages, I found Flirting with My Billionaire Boss. And that is by Cindy Ray Hale. And I believe this is a series because I also seem to have Flirting with My Billionaire Enemy. So I don't know if it's a series or if that's just a totally different book, but I'm going to start with Flirting with My Billionaire Boss for a title having with in it. And then for the cover prompt for Readathon, we needed a book that has transportation on the cover. And for that, I'm going to go with To Green Angel Towers by Tad Williams. And if you look really closely down here, there are a bunch of ships. And if you think they're too tiny to count, I can go with the second half of it. And there's a horse right there, and horses provide transportation. So at least I got another use out of those books. Next, we have Year in Aldea. And for Ariel, she is moving from 7B to 7C, and that is Use True Light, a book with light in the title. Do you think I have a book that's already on my TBRopoly, book clubs, readalongs, that has the word light in the title? Of course not. Of course not. So I have to add yet another book. It's fine. This one clocks in at 161 pages. So at least I did find short ones for the extra ones I had to add. And that was Cracks of Light by John Charles Reedberg. All I know is that it's a middle grade, so hopefully it is a really quick and easy read. And actually both of those books, The Flirting with My Billionaire Boss and Cracks of Light, I found the audiobooks on Hoopla as well, so that would go even quicker. Now on to Kurasu. He moved from 7C to 8C, and that is to recruit more implings for your band. So 6 creatures on the cover. This one I struggled as well. I looked at all of my covers. Nope, not a one. I was hoping maybe this one, but there's only one horse. The rest are people, bones, things like that. So that didn't work. I was looking at this one, Nary a bird to be seen. Nothing, just 3 people and some ships. Not even a bird on the cover. Rude. Just people. Looks like an angel or something, but there's only like 2 or 3 on there. So again, no. So I get to add another book. And this one is 400 pages. And that's if I can get it from my library. So I may have to rethink this prompt and go back and find something else. But for now, it's a book I want to read, and it's for the Horror Bingo Readathon. So I do want to read it. And that is Never Whistle at Night. And it's a short story anthology. This is one I'm actually interested in reading. There's really only 2 anthologies I want to read. This one and, of course, this one. But no creatures on there either. Someday I will get to this one. Someday. So Never Whistle at Night, the anthology of short stories that are written by, I believe they are all written by Indigenous authors. So that is amazing and will work for HRCYED as well. Now for TBR Knockout. The theme for August is back to school. The first one is a book with a book on the cover, and not my Kindle edition because it doesn't have a cover. It just has the title. But this edition does have a book on the cover, and that is The Game by Jack London. So yay, I get to use my really short book for something else. For the second prompt, it was to read a nonfiction. You guessed it, I have no nonfiction already on my TBR. But again, this is one I really want to read, and it's for for one of my year-long readathons as well at the 52 Book Club, Our Fantasy Bingo, I don't know, one of those. And that is Brat by Andrew McCarthy, and it is short. It's not very long. And I am really looking forward to this. So I grew up watching the Brat Pack, which was Andrew McCarthy. You have like Emilio Estevez, Molly Ringwald, you know, the whole gang, Ali Sheedy, all of them. Think all the actors that are in like Pretty in Pink and 16 Candles and Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire, The Outsiders, you know, all of them. C. Thomas Howell and Patrick Swayze, Tom Cruise, you know, the gang's all here, all of them guys. So I'm excited to read this one. Pretty in Pink was one of my favorite movies growing up, besides Breakfast Club and 16 Candles. Loved anything with Molly Ringwald, but I do really like Andrew McCarthy. Mannequin was super hilarious, very fun. So I will be reading this one, but it's only 223, so super short. And what is that now, like 16 books on my TBR? 17? It's okay, I read 20 in July, I should be fine. Hopefully I won't be totally booked out by the time we reach September and the Magical Readathon, because I'm gonna have 4 characters. I know, it's fine, I'll figure it out. And now we move into Year of Goober with Jess from Jashi Curran and the BuJo Buddies Book Club. And the first prompt is Gladiolus Strength. Read a physical book. And of course, well, I have quite a few to choose from. So I can read any of these and it will work for that prompt. Right now I have it narrowed down to one of these two. Hopefully I read them both and they will both work for that prompt. Yeah, any of these will be fine. And then the other option, of course, you only need to do one of these. You don't need to do both, but I like picking out books for both. And both of these are on my TBR anyway, so there we go. Poppy, Remembrance. Read a book that is published before 2000. And I always go like super extra on this one. I'm going to read, because I need to get this one somewhere else on my TBR besides just the one prompt. And that is The Red Sphinx by Alexandra Dumas, which is probably, I didn't look for sure, but it's probably 1800s, somewhere in that time period. Well before the 2000s. Suffer-a-thon, last one, don't know yet. Haven't heard, it'll probably be next week before I figure that one out. So far with all of these, I'm at 6,841 pages to read in August. And that's not counting the 2 book clubs and the Suffer-a-thon prompt I don't know about yet. Okay, for total page count, for my TBRopoly only, just the 13 prompts for my TBRopoly, it comes out to not too bad, 167 pages per day. So if I use that with audiobooks, I can usually do up to 200 pages a day. Not every day, but I can kind of do an average out around 200 pages a day. So that's doable. But when I look at everything, not including the 3 books I still don't know about, that's 220 pages a day. That's pushing it. Plus taking time out to do a craft, because I can't listen to anything while I'm doing this because I'm taking the class, so I need to actually focus on the class itself. So I'm losing some audiobook time to do that. But I think this is good. I like this. This is kind of a challenge. So the last 2 months haven't really been that challenging to finish my TBR. I've finished them early. I mean, May wasn't too much of a challenge. I finished my TBR super early. June was a little more challenging, but I still finished my TBR on time and read some extra books. And then July, I finished super early. I think I finished like on the 16th or 17th, maybe the 8th. It was like July 18th. I finished my entire TBRopoly, and I've just been mood reading since then. So it'll be nice to have a little bit more of a challenge to get through all of these books. Okay, so here's what I have. Just physically, this isn't counting where's the graphic novels when you need them. These are just the books that I have physically right now with me. So we've got the craft just went flying. So yeah, here's my Kindle, and then the challenge prompt. So there's a small portion. Here's a third of my TBR. So think of this 2 more times, and that's my TBR for August. Pray for me. Send me all the love. I will probably have to do a sprint or two on my channel in August, so keep an eye out for that and join me to help motivate me to keep going with all of the books in my TBR and having fun with my dragon craft. I'm really looking forward to doing my crochet dragon. And then once I'm done with that, then it's back to diamond painting for a little bit. I did get all the frames in. I got all of my dragons framed. We just need to hang them on the wall, and then I'll do a little tour for you. And then I got this really cool moon diamond painting, which I'm excited to get into. If you made it this far in the video, leave either a book stack emoji for all of the pages that I have, or you can leave me a little dragon emoji for the challenge card prompt to let me know that you are here. And please like, comment, and subscribe if you want it, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other bookish content. And until next time, keep reading. Bye.